What is a present moment? Is it now? What about now? Is now the present moment? You get the idea. You see, we are always in the present moment. The past is dead and the future is hypothetical. Then why is that we always try to get out of the now? I do it all the time. Tomorrow I will have a house near the lake or a well-paid job, and then I will be happy. But what about now? Isn't now the only thing there is? Am I then chasing my own tail? I'm never going to get that satisfaction or peace or whatever that I'm craving, because all I need is right now. That's why I love the film Groundhog Day with Bill Murray. I've watched it many times, but I happened to watch that movie in a lazy afternoon recently. I realized it was not a cheesy comedy that I always imagined it to be. It had one of the most important reality check messages. There is going to be obviously a lot of spoilers. If you haven't watched Groundhog Day, definitely watch the film and then get back to this video. Alright, Groundhog Day is a 1993 comedy film starring Bill Murray, and it is directed and co-written by Harold Ramis and Danny Rubin. Bill Murray plays Phil, a weatherman who is sent to cover the annual Groundhog Day event in a small town of Punxsutawney, Pennsylvania. He loathes being there. All he wants is to get out of the town before the supposed snowstorm, and he desperately tries. But ultimately, he fails. Something happens and he relives the same day again and again. He meets the same people, he goes to the same event, and it drives him mad. He gets stuck in that one place he hates the most.
I was in the Virgin Islands once. I met a girl. We ate lobster, drank pina coladas. At sunset, we made love like sea otters. That was a pretty good day. Why couldn't I get that day over and over?
At first, he has fun with it, but slowly he begins to feel the depressing nature of his situation. No matter what he does, he can't get out. He is a prisoner of that day. He even tries to kill himself on several occasions, but he wakes up in the same bed to the same song. When he finally realizes that all his attempts to get out of that horrible loop of a day is futile, he's left with only one option: to actually embrace his time in that day. During the process, he also realizes that his misery didn't stem from the fact that he was trapped in that day. His misery was actually from his own miserable attempts to get out. Things begin to change after this shift in perspective. He actually begins to enjoy his time at Punxsutawney. He listens, he respects, and he uses the repetition of the day to his advantage. He saves people and makes people's lives better. He takes up piano lessons, and he seems genuinely happy. Initially, he tries to get his way with his coworker by mere manipulation, but after he starts to embrace the day, the coworker is actually attracted to him. All we have to do is to replace the day with the present moment. There are several occasions where I felt trapped in certain moments. I always imagine a blissful future. Oh, all of this is going to be a distant dream. I'm going to have that perfect video producer job or that great house near the lake, then everything will be okay. I'm always unsettled in my present moment, never stopping to acknowledge the beauty of it. Even when I'm eating, I'm not registering the delicious taste of my food. I'm either watching TV or dreaming about the future or regretting the past while shoving all the food into my mouth. Hence the misery. It's always rushing and running to get to somewhere. But when am I going to register the fact that there is nowhere to go? I am already at a place where I want to be. Everything is right here, right now. Much like Phil in Groundhog Day, my misery stems from my desperate attempts to get out of the moment I am in. Instead of embracing it, I'm trying to run away from it.
And he begins actually to enjoy it. He cooperates with the present moment, as I put it. It's never explained in the movie, fortunately, because in good movies the message is not explained. It has to be shown rather than explained. So the viewer can draw their own conclusions. And then the last scene is he wakes up and it's the next day. he can leave. But now he loves it so much, he says to his assistant, let's stay here. So he is released from the cycle of suffering as he begins to surrender and accept the present moment and becomes a positive force in the present moment. He is suddenly released from the cycle of suffering. And so that is the deeper message, that the way and so basically, I would say, everybody who is still totally identified with their conditioned mind lives his or her own Groundhog Day, because not exactly, but the conditioned mind tends to replicate itself. And if you're totally identified with the conditioning of your mind, which includes reactive patterns and so on, you tend to recreate similar life experiences through your reactions, and you tend to even to recreate similar relationships. Some of you might have noticed that tend to attract certain kinds of people. Why this? It seems very strange, but it happens, and that's because so basically, everybody has his or her Groundhog Day in the head until they transcend it.
The implication of getting caught in the present moment is quite scary. What if you're so lost in the beauty, patterns, and the complexities of the reality around you that you simply forget to do the things you're supposed to do? What happens then? Because I once tried to consciously be present as I went about my day, but it proved to be an unnerving experience. Throughout my life, I'm doing things out of repetition. I don't register the mirror when I brush my teeth, or I don't register the water droplets falling as I take a shower and the sensations that it produces, because it's not a new thing. I've been doing that since I was born, and why should my mind register it? But something incredible happens if you consciously register your present moment. When you are in a room preoccupied with your work, you don't register any sound. But when you are no longer preoccupied with anything and your sole focus is to listening to even the minute of noises, you begin to hear things. Suddenly what you thought was a quiet room is actually filled with all kinds of sound. A dog bark from 2 blocks away, or a slight flickering sound of the streetlight and the hum of the air conditioner from an apartment nearby. A whole new world opens up. Similarly, when you actually consciously register the present moment, the experience could be intense. Your mind registers plenty of new sounds, sensations, and beautiful complex patterns in even the most mundane of things. The experience can actually overwhelm you. It made me lose my balance. After a while, I couldn't do it, and I consciously invited thoughts so that I get out of the present moment. Just to give you a picture of its intensity, I want to introduce you to Jill Bolte Taylor, an American neuroanatomist. She suffered a massive stroke in 1996 at the age of 37. It took her 8 years to recover. That painful experience influenced her work as a scientist and a speaker. In her book, My Stroke of Insight, A Brain Scientist's Personal Journey, she discusses in detail the moments followed by the stroke, and it involves being extensively in the present moment and the consequences of it. In her TED Talk, she talks about the left and right hemispheres of our brain and their respective functions. She explains that our right human hemisphere is all about this moment. It's all about right here and right now. Our right hemisphere thinks in pictures, and it learns kinesthetically through the movement of the body. Information in the form of energy streams in simultaneously through all of our sensory systems, and then it explodes into this enormous collage of what this present moment looks like, what this present moment smells like, tastes like, what it feels like, and what it sounds like. We are an energy being connected to the energy all around us through the consciousness of our right hemisphere. But the brain's left hemisphere is a very different place. Our left hemisphere thinks linearly and methodically. Our left hemisphere is all about the past and all about the future. Our left hemisphere is designed to take all the enormous collage of present moment and start picking out various details, and it categorizes and organizes all that information, associates it with everything in the past, and projects all of our possibilities into the future. Our left hemisphere thinks in language. It's that ongoing brain chatter that connects our internal world to our external world. It's the voice that says, you gotta buy groceries for tomorrow. It's that little voice that says to us, I am.
And as soon as my left hemisphere says to me, I am, I become separate. I become a single, solid individual, separate from the energy flow around me and separate from you. And this is the portion of my brain that I lost on the morning of my stroke. I woke up to a pounding pain behind my left eye. And it was the kind of pain, caustic pain, that you get when you bite into ice cream. And it just gripped me, and then it released me. And then it just gripped me, and then it released me. And it was very unusual for me to ever experience any kind of pain, so I thought, okay, I'll just start my normal routine. So I got up and I jumped onto my cardio glider, which is a full body, full exercise machine. And I'm jamming away on this thing, and I'm realizing that my hands look like primitive claws grasping onto the bar. And I thought, that's very peculiar. And I looked down at my body, and I thought, whoa, I am a weird-looking thing. And it was as though my consciousness had shifted away from my normal perception of reality, where I'm the person on the machine having the experience, to some esoteric space where I'm witnessing myself having this experience. And it was all very peculiar, and my headache was just getting worse, so I get off the machine, and I'm standing in my bathroom getting ready to step into the shower, and I could actually hear the dialogue inside of my body. I heard a little voice saying, okay, you muscles, you gotta contract, and you muscles, you relax. And then I lost my balance, and I'm propped up against the wall. And I looked down at my arm, and I realized that I can no longer define the boundaries of my body. I can't define where I begin and where I end, because the atoms and the molecules of my arm blended with the atoms and molecules of the wall. And all I could detect was this energy. And I'm asking myself, what is wrong with me? What is going on? And in that moment, my brain chatter, my left hemisphere brain chatter, went totally silent. Just like someone took a remote control and pushed the mute button. Total silence. And at first I was shocked to find myself inside of a silent mind. But then I was immediately captivated by the magnificence of the energy around me. And because I could no longer identify the boundaries of my body, I felt enormous and expansive. I felt at one with all the energy that was, and it was beautiful there. And then all of a sudden, my left hemisphere comes back online, and it says to me, hey, we got a problem, we got to get some help. And I'm going, oh, I got a problem. So it's like, okay, I got a problem. But then I immediately drifted right back out into the consciousness, and I affectionately refer to this space as La La Land. But it was beautiful there. Imagine what it would be like to be totally disconnected from your brain chatter that connects you to the external world. So here I am in this space, and my job and any stress related to my job, it was gone. And I felt lighter in my body. And imagine all of the relationships in the external world and any stressors related to any of those, they were gone. And I felt this sense of peacefulness. And imagine what it would feel like to lose 37 years of emotional baggage. Oh, I felt euphoria.
Euphoria. But the euphoria was a part of her stroke, and she had no choice in that. Being in the present moment in this case was actually a consequence of that stroke. But can we consciously recreate this feeling of peace out of our will? I think we can. Because I've been in that situation. It was not as intense as Jill's experience, but I've experienced the quietness of the left portion of my brain. Few years ago, one morning when I woke up, I was completely floored by the beauty of everything around me. I felt peaceful. I felt like I was not in any kind of urgency. It wasn't a complete shutdown of the left hemisphere. I still was very aware of my appointments that day. I knew where I was heading, but everything on my way was absolutely magnificent. I was amazed at every single thing that I encountered. The cloud patterns of the sky, the greenery of the trees, the design of the buildings, the sound of traffic, the droplets of the rain, everything seemed new and exotic. Even the imperfections of my reality became a work of art. Since then, I haven't had that experience, and I am craving for it. I don't want to get lost in the present moment forever, but I would love to find a balance between learning from my past and planning for my future and embracing the present. Last week, this channel hit 100 subscribers. I know it is not a lot by any means, but nevertheless it was a personal milestone. I feel like my work is appreciated and it feels good to know that. So thank you so much for supporting me by following this channel. I have a lot planned for this channel, so stay tuned. I love the energy that you guys bring in the comment section. It brings unique perspective to the topic that we discuss. Also, if you are new here, welcome, and this is an ongoing weekly web series. So make sure to subscribe and hit the bell button to turn the notification on. And most importantly, if you liked what you saw, then share it with your friends on social media. It helps this channel to find new audience. I will see you in a new video next week.